Upload. Thank you, Chair, for welcoming me, and a very good morning to all those who are listening this. This presentation is my take on leading the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture for the achievement of the University of Venda's mission and strategic objectives if I am appointed as the Executive Director. May I first acknowledge the vision of the university, which is of a leading and it is engaged in the scholarliness, and also the mission, which is the University of Venda, that produces graduates that are locally relevant and globally competitive. May I also indicate that this presentation is aligned to the University of Venda's strategic plan of 2021 to 2025 with 4 strategic thrusts, also this contributing to the positioning of the university's impact and its relevance, especially looking at the location it is in. Inspired by the vision and mission and the identified thrusts, I raise my hand and avail myself to be a servant and to lead this faculty towards a world-class and entrepreneurial faculty. May I also, in doing so, congratulate the university and the faculty in the recent achievements, having 4 functional departments: science, foundation, and institution, and the experimental farm, and also with researchers who are rated, and a number of PhDs changed in recent years. This somehow is a recipe enough to think of the faculty that will respond or be responsive to 4IR possibilities, a faculty that will position itself as a smart faculty, ready to respond to initiative of the smart city and the technologies that comes with it, and also a faculty that will provide relevant skills and empower communities in the region and beyond. The lectures, laboratories, and equipment will have to be of state of the art and with the current trend. Looking at the first thrust, being student-centered and engaged scholarship, looking at enhancing student well-being, this will be achieved by increasing the usage of smart technologies to produce graduates who are highly skilled and relevant for the society. Also establishing joint degrees with international universities, faculty teaching and learning and research committees, effective faculty placement committee, resource to design and effect industrial tours, vacation placement, and international exchange. And learning, reviewing all programs for viability, relevance, and quality, collaborating with industry and alumni to contribute in teaching and learning, developing a year-long annual program for STEM, and dwindling numbers in order to increase pool of potential vested students. And if we don't respond to this positively, I just got the news this morning on IOL News that some schools in Western Cape are phasing out mathematics and physical science. If we don't respond, it will be self-suicidal. It means this faculty will not exist. So we cannot just fold our arms and watch whilst this are happening. Also forging relevant and impactful community-based engagement and review them annually, availing faculty resources for industrial-related projects and measure the impact thereof. Enhancing teaching and learning will be achieved by investigating the cost-effective, accessible, and teaching and learning platforms, creating linkages to relevant e-resources to enhance teaching and learning, raising funding for refurbishing of laboratories and equipment to reflect a smart faculty, getting advice from persons with disability agencies for laboratories and lecture halls to be structures for compliance. As for staff development, developing and implementing fair and equitable workload model, supporting sabbatical leave and mentoring to acquire higher qualification, effectively implementing performance management system, and also of importance, personal development programs, introducing effective staff exchange programs with other universities and business, encouraging participating in national and international conferences, participation in future professors program, membership in relevant professional bodies, and application for NGAP programs. The enhancing and research output for innovation impact will be achieved by establishing faculty research calendar to increase participation in research, initiating and implementing effective research focus niche areas, devising a strategy to attract more postgraduate students, stimulating research and in the experimental farm, increasing the number of master students and the graduation rate, also the doctoral rates, the doctoral students and the graduation rate. The NRF researchers will have to be increased and looked at, and also look at increasing the research chairs. We'll have to look at increasing the postdoctoral fellows and the number of adjunct professors and the visiting professors, and continuously improving the quality of supervision in the faculty, hosting workshops, visitations and mentoring, setting research output targets for the faculty, and I suggest 2 per annum for professors and 1.5 per annum for doctors, and aligning research towards the relevant SDGs, COP, NDP. The graph I'm showing there, it is just indicating, hopefully it has changed, but I know that it is of 2021, the first 4 bars. We need to reverse the order somehow, have more doctoral and professors in place, and we need to devise a program as to how we get there too. Looking at the second thrust, the entrepreneurial Excuse me, just drinking some water. The Entrepreneurial University. On entrepreneurial culture, this will be achieved by integrating entrepreneurship into curriculum, hosting workshops, bidding opportunities in collaboration with a number of stakeholders, establishing the faculty idea drop room to increase the number of staff and students to engage and share ideas around entrepreneurship, working with the provincial economic development and district municipal to increase the number of incubated sustainable businesses. On the first financial sustainability, this will be achieved by generation of first stream income, and I envisage 8 million rands approximately by 2028, increasing number of research outputs, commercialized and licensing, short learning programs, expansion of the experimental farm, reconsidering the offering of mining engineering. All this program needs to come back to the table and discuss, and hopefully we'll get it right. I noticed that the university did attempt to offer this. And also the hosting of the faculty accredited biennial international conference. On encouraging the institution integrated local and regional development, this will be achieved by a strategic approach, looking at the agro-processing, the agri-hubs, agri-clusters, research on zero waste, low carbon living, expanding research in solar energy, water, increasing participation in a number of programs, considering that we are closer to the corridor. The medicinal plants beneficiation is something that we need to talk a lot about and flag it. And also, what about the sports biokinetics, seeing that there are a number of soccer teams that comes from the region itself. The governance is non-negotiable. It has to be at all times 24/7. I will ensure adherence to it, accountability, and also minimize the identified risk, adhere and comply to all the policies of the university, ensure efficiency and effectiveness on the institution control system, and adhere and comply to a framework for effective government. As for linkages and partnership and internationalization, on the matter of strengthening university local and international profile and visibility, this will be achieved by increasing number of partnerships with local NGOs and other stakeholders, and major local and regional initiative in which the faculty is involved, joint publication unit with national and international partners, public lectures and colloquium, memoranda that are signed by funding organizations. A collaborative research is very essential and should be at the core, and also awareness campaigns in the communities. I'm just flicking some potential partnerships that I bring with, should I be appointed. Some of this will be renegotiated for my new location. And just some possibilities on the public transport issues and the disabilities, tracking of stable and livestock, assets, commodities, copper, nanotechnology can play a role there. I note the presence of geography in the faculty. How about imagery also in enhancing the farming in the rural areas? These days we are talking smart farming. And then what about the self-thermal controlling offices, lectures, households, smart taxis, ranks, applications, smart toilets, improvement of STEM teaching and learning schools? And this is just by dream and possibilities. It is not currently in your stated in the current plan. And I thank you, colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Modise, for the PowerPoint presentation. Let me invite if there's any questions that the panel members want to raise out of your presentation. And thereafter, we'll sort of follow up with other members of the faculty. Professor Feza, I see your hand.
Thank you very much, VC. Good morning, Professor Modise. Thank you so much for your presentation. As I was listening, I heard you having a vision for research. I would like to know from you, how will you increase the number of female researchers, rated researchers, in your faculty, especially those that are South African nationals? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Maybe let me take maybe a few more points so that we can able to respond to them at once. Let me hear other members if there's any clarity follow-up that you want to make.
Thank you. See,
Okay.
my hand was up. It's Advocate Lambani, the registrar.
Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Prof. Modise. And your heading of students' wellness and student-centeredness, you mentioned collaborating with industries and the alumni, and your target was annually. And also under entrepreneurial activities, you mentioned the sporting activities that you have realized there are so many around here, but you gave yourself targets. On the first one with the collaboration with industries and the annual target, what sort of activity would you be collaborating with regard to industries? Just maybe one or two, and it is nearly the same on sporting activities. Which sporting activities do you think could be some of those we could focus on them to actually bring in some income?
Thank you, Registrar. Let me take the last hand so that we can respond, and then we'll open it again. Prof. Crawford.
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, Professor Modise. You mentioned in your presentation the issue of good input equals good output when it comes to the quality of students that we attract. The reality is currently that Univen is not yet the university of first choice for the highest achievers at NSC level. 75% of our students come from schools located in rural villages, and 47% of them are from quintile 1 to 3 schools. Only about half of them have had exposure to science laboratories and so on. So you have to take what you get, and how will you ensure that what you get translates into good output? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. A very important question. Prof. Modise, I think those are the 3 questions that have been posed, just a follow-up on your presentation. I hope you jot them down, but just to remind you, the first one was relating to the female-rated researchers and what is your strategy around that, and the issue of the collaboration with industry and alumni and activities, and the last one just from Prof. Crawford. If you can maybe just give some response to that.
Thank you, Chair. I will take them in that order without referring to colleagues' names. The issue of the women in research is very critical, and I want to agree with you when you say also with South African nationals. There are a number of programs in place, and those programs are deliberate. One thinks immediately of the women in research programs that we will have to visit and interrogate and be part of. NRF also is it's having programs that are very coined specifically to addressing this issue. So participation in those is very critical. But looking at us as a university first, we need to create that environment, that platform for women as researchers and in the faculty to engage and be mentored and achieve that. So I will create that very same environment for mentoring. There are professors that are seasoned elsewhere, also in other universities. How about we collaborate with those and specifically state this, that we need to influence our space in that way, that we achieve a number of women participation in research. And I'm thinking of Prof. Takalo, for an example, if I'm allowed to, who have achieved a lot from, I think, another universities, been moving around from universities to universities, and mentoring and encouraging and all that. For me, it's not also about giving talks. It's about holding a hand and walking a journey and walk the walk, talk the talk, until we realize this. So as we set targets like this, it's not just a dream. It's how do we implement? And we will beat ourselves if we do not achieve, especially on this one of women in research. I hope I've answered you on this one. The matter of wellness, it's one issue that is we have to think of students in totality. They are psychological beings. Their background, where they come from, and I know this point of, that comes as in the last question, and thank you for sharing that. I've been wondering what sort of a student profile are you having at the University of Venda? 75% rural is quite something to deal with here, but it is then our job to rock the boat somehow and be competitive enough. And I like the vision. What is in the vision there states it is that you are saying. So the well-being, the psychological being, the thriving, the positive emotions that comes with it, it's something that we need to look at. As to the activities, I come from a background where industry is urged to take students on vacation for vacation programs. If there is no industry in, I believe this is Toyando, then we need to cut the nest a bit wider. Where can our students go to go and experience? But the issue of exchange is one thing, just being in a plane going to, let's say, Holland or US, experiencing the world, and it creates a huge impact on an individual and the community and the village that this person is coming from, and as a rippling effect of wanting it. And how the question is how much more do you want it? So we need to create opportunities like this. But the matter of within the university, I think what I raised here, the mobile laboratories, is one thing that we can think of going out in the what is this now? In the communities. This is doable. Other universities do have this sort of programs. And have a fully fledged laboratory that speaks to the curriculum of a school, and you improve the learnership in the school, and also the matter of working with the teachers and improving our teachers do not sometimes want to at the beginning accept that they do not have the necessary skills. So I need to sip some water. So giving them that confidence and working with the university, being at a laboratory, at a university and working from there, already we are closing them and bringing them closer and closer to a university. But not only that, we are skilling and we are preparing them for what is coming. The issue of the sporting activities, the region really is doing well sport-wise. We have good athletes coming from there. I think of soccer. Well, even though they visit the leagues, the national leagues is fine, but this is where the universities comes in now, also to make sure how do we at least have one or two teams that the brand to brand this university is attached to, or probably a University of Venda soccer team, like you are having in the UP, Stellenbosch, and so on. being there, carrying the flag of University of Venda, but bring closer to it and coin around it a high performance center. It takes time to have this thing and it takes money, but you need to start somewhere and the vision should be there. So we should not shy away from not doing it because we are in the rural, but we do it because we want to change things around. So my take is that having seen what is happening and the participation in the national program of some sporting codes, except that when I look around, I do not see a lot of intervarsity involvement. I see here and there, but we need to be rough on this intervarsity involvement and support the students on this. When we do that, we are not only carrying the flag of University of Venda, we are carrying the whole community with us. And the young ones see this and we have impact on them. And then the last one is the input equals to output. And the university not being the first choice. I think all universities are struggling with this one. My brand where I am attached, we are saying almost the same thing as you are saying, and where our students are coming for. It makes it even worse when you are having the private universities now coming up almost from nowhere and competing with the public universities. It means the slice is becoming smaller and smaller. So the least you can do is be rooted in the school, be in the schools. If you leave the agenda of the public schools and you are with them and not in isolation, the first thing that the student think of is coming to University of Venda rather than going to VET. But also, Vice Chancellor, how about the Vice Chancellor's bursaries for students who are doing well? For good students to say, and other universities are doing this, for good students, education, there are discounts. You pay only up to a point probably. So this we need to be somehow be innovative around it. Chair, I hope I've answered the questions.
Thank you so much, Prof. I'll check with the members if they've you have answered the questions to their satisfactory. Let me check, Professor, are you okay with the response, and also Advocate and Prof. Crawford?
Yes, I am okay, VC. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I see the hand by Professor Crawford. Advocate, are you okay with the response? Thank you so much. Let me check with members if there's any further questions that you want to pose, to Professor Modise, Director HR.
Thank you, VC. I have a question from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Prof. Modise, good morning.
Morning.
There's a question here. I'll read it for you verbatim. UNIVEN has just graduated its first cohort of engineering students with BSc honors in agricultural and biosystems engineering. How would you leverage this in developing other engineering programs?
Thank you, Director. Prof. Modise, would you maybe respond to the question?
Thank you, Chair. I've noted the attempt, like I said in the slides, just that probably looking at the 50 minutes, I cramped these things. But I've noted the attempt by the university to have a number of programs going, and a number of them, a set of them were engineering related, and the attempt also to work with Wits University. That was a good approach. By the way, but I think we need to revisit this and put it back on the agenda as to how do we, now that there are these students graduating, we need to create mobility for them at the next level, and the the guidance of HEQC and also working close with EXA and still working with Wits University, especially for the mining, but the biosystem, I did not hear where the BSc honors was coming from, but for the biosystem, I'm just thinking there are so many universities that are also offering this. So collaboration is the way to go. So we will have to look who can we work with, who can have an input and assist us in achieving this. So long we do not stop dreaming. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Professor, I see your hand.
Thank you very much, Chair. Prof. Modise, my question to you, actually, I would like you to share your approach in making sure that postgraduate students complete their studies within residency period. Thank you.
Prof. Modise.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think this one starts first with supervision. If you have the supervisors that are well-oiled, know what they are doing, and we effect the contracts that are there between the supervisor and the student, then the rest somehow is a matter of implementation. Once the student has applied and we agree and we say this is a 2-year or a 3-year program, that is a contract, and we do our bit. It means we need to put in place all the necessary resources for that students not to be somehow hampered in their studies. The issues of equipment, the topic, it does make sense. And then we monitor the students. We need to track from the time of registration up to the time we submit for examination. How is the student faring? And make the supervisor and the student accountable. So in that way, and students are aware that they are being watched, then you'll see magic in that. The other thing is making studying enjoyable for the students, because to attract them and noting what was indicated here, which is a bit of a concern, we'll see how we address it. Coming from the rural and student finishing probably their first degree, they will look somewhere else to go do their postgraduate degrees. And if we delay them even more, they will get frustrated and regret why they registered with the faculty. So we need to make their stay enjoyable, meaning having to go to, participate in the exchange programs, having to have visitors from other universities visiting us in our own labs and them interacting, not only academic exchange, but also cultural exchange. In that way, then it will sync well and make sure that we do graduate our student on time. So we'll see a good performance if we put all those elements and others in one basket somehow. But implementation, talking is one thing, doing is the other. I've noted. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Prof. Modise. Ms. Ndo, is there any other question from the chat box?
Nothing so far, Chair.
Thank you so much. I don't think there's any further hand from the panel members to ask questions relating to the presentation. And that being so, I want to thank you so much, Professor Modise, for your presentation. And then we'll see each other again when we move into our structured interviews. Thank you so much, and our best wishes to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, colleagues, and thank you to the audience, all that are listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chair, may I be guided? Do I leave the meeting?
Yes, I think there's going to be a link just for the session where the structured interviews will happen.
Okay,
so
thank you.
you're going to need to leave this link, and then the colleagues from HR will be in touch with you to indicate the time by which you should be part of the session again. I think it will be probably just after 11.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Ms. No, once the candidate has left the session, you will assist the second candidate, and then we'll take it from there.
We'll do that. I'm just noting that the time between the Teams and YouTube is not aligned. There's a question that just came now from YouTube, but already we had said the candidate can go. So I've noted it for the next candidate.
Okay. So I think what I will do also, maybe just after the presentation by the candidate, I'll request the faculty board members to put their questions so that they don't have to think them through while we are discussing, so that we can avoid similar occurrences.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Chair,
Hi, Prof.
I was just wondering at the clock, in the interest of time, whether members of the selection panel, once they ask a question, if they have a follow-up, they should rather do the follow-up during the interview.
Yes.
And not in the presentation.
Yes. Okay.
Morning, VC.
Morning, Advocate.
Yes, does it mean when we have this very much good time, we still have to wait until 9:55, or the person was always ready to be the next?
No, Advocate. Prof. Potgieter is joining.
Okay.
Ms. Ndo, are we having some challenges?
I think she is struggling a bit, but somebody's helping her.
Okay.
Morning, Prof. Potgieter.
Good morning.
Okay, VC, over to you.
Thank you so much, Director HR. Let me welcome you, Professor Potgieter, for joining us for this important session, being the interview for the Executive Dean for the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture. Thank you so much for availing yourself. Let me also welcome members of the panel who will be taking you through the interview. I'll be chairing the session. We also have our external expert, being Professor Ramesh Baruthram, who was a former Dean at DVC at the University of Western Cape. And then, of course, we got our internal members, being executive members of management that are also part of the session. So let me also welcome all the faculty board members who are also part of this session, who will also be given a space to raise any question to you, Prof. Without further ado, Prof, just to explain to you how the process will unfold, we have put about 15 minutes wherein you will make a PowerPoint presentation. And then after your presentation, then there might be some clarity that will be sought to be made out of your presentation. And then we'll handle those each issues and also allow members of the faculty board to also raise their questions. And that will conclude the whole session as we know it. And then we'll move on to the second part of the session, which will be the structured interviews. So that's how we're going to follow the whole process. So you'll have about 15 minutes of time, which will just start from now. It's about 25 to 11. And over to you, Prof.
Thank you very much, VC, and thank you for the opportunity. Can everybody see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Wonderful.
You can just put it on the slide show.
Do that now.
Thank you so much.
I just want to get rid of that. Okay. Thank you very much, VC. Thank you very much, panel members. Thank you very much, faculty, for giving me the opportunity to present my presentation to you on leading the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture for the achievement of the University of Venda's mission and strategic objectives. Now, the vision of the university is a university leading and engaged scholarship with the university mission that says we will produce graduates that are locally relevant and globally competitive. This is to position the University of Venda for impact and relevance. And in this, we need to strive for core values that includes quality, excellence, accountability, integrity, transparency, respect, diversity, social responsibility, and environmental stewardship. The university strategic plan for 2021 to 2025 was approved by the council in May 2020. It's underpinned by the ARISE value chain model that aligns all faculties in all activities in the faculty and assist in achieving the strategic plan of the university through the thrust and the strategic objectives. There are 4 specific thrusts, and each one of them has specific strategic objectives. The RISE value chain model is very important in this, from the ensuring that the admission or quality of students into the system to the retention of the students until they complete their qualifications. Also to use academic instruction in various techniques and learning approaches and methodologies, to develop engaged scholarship and partnerships, and then to create an enabling environment for the students to thrive in and all these processes to take place. When the faculty was merged by, when the faculty came together with the merging of 3 schools in 2020, we had a new executive dean that was appointed, and in June of 2021. And we as faculty management came together and used the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture strategic plan to make sure it is aligned and put together this plan towards collective implementation using the University of Venda's 2021 to 2025 strategic plan. Now, the strategic thrust and objectives of this faculty strategic plan is adopted from the strategic plan, and we use this faculty strategic plan to serve as a roadmap that academic departments are now using to develop and implement their annual operation plans. So what I will do is I will discuss what we have come together as a strategic plan and how I will use this as leading the executive team, as an executive team, how I will lead the faculty to obtain the university mission and the strategic objectives. Under the strategic thrust 1, there are several strategic objectives, and all is around student-centeredness and engaged scholarships. So under strategic objective 1, how to enhance the student well-being, we want to enhance the first-year experience to increase the chances of student success. We want to strengthen the quality of teaching and learning and increase the adoption of e-learning, reskill and train our academics to be university teachers, and actively track and monitor progress of postgraduate students in the faculty. To enhance the curriculum and improve graduateness, we want to conduct continuous curriculum doctoral researchers, not only nationally, but also regionally and internationally. We want to establish a center of excellence in animal and plant biotechnology because it's very relevant in the area that we are staying situated, and also establish a center for computational and data science in the faculty. The strategic thrust number 2 is looking at entrepreneurial university. And there's also several strategic objectives under this strategic thrust. And one of them is to develop an entrepreneurial culture by actively creating awareness about entrepreneurship for staff and students, develop students' entrepreneurship by infusing entrepreneurship in the curriculum. We want to ensure financial sustainability in the faculty by establishing a faculty business unit for generating third stream income for the faculty. We want to diversify research findings to include funding sources beyond those awarded to the faculty, like the UCDP grant. We want to leverage on the experimental farm in the faculty for sales of produce and identify new income generating opportunities. We want to be an anchor institution for effective integrated local and regional development, which is strategic objective 8. We want to, in the faculty, build our network with local and regional stakeholders and expand and strengthen industry partnerships. Strategic objective 9, to develop enterprise. We want to develop an integrated waste management plan for the valorization of waste in the faculty. Establish an incubation hub within the faculty business unit. Establish a faculty agri-hub for processing and product development, and leverage on the state-of-the-art equipment available in the faculty to establish a central analytical facility for producing analysis services. In strategic thrust number 3, which is about governance for outstanding scholarship. Strategic objective 10, to promote effective institutional governance and management systems. We want to maintain strong and engaging faculty committees who have approved terms of references to guide us in the activities in the faculty. We want to put in place internal controls to ensure effective corporate governance, very important for quality assurance. Strategic objective 11, to enhance the corporate identity of the university. We want to aggressively promote ourselves as a world-leading center for scientific research. We want to increase the visibility of our academic program to attract the highest quality students from across South Africa and beyond, and engage alumni and industry through academic advisory boards. To improve the governance of institutional information systems, we want to use audited HEMIS data for planning, monitoring, evaluation, and reporting of the academic project, and continuously update our business continuity and rescue plan for prevention and recovery from potential threats to the faculty. To strengthen systems and processes for infrastructure development and maintenance, we want to keep an active asset register to make sure we know which equipment is no longer viable and must be replaced, to make sure that we have a budget for new equipment and state-of-the-art equipment to help not only for undergraduate training, but also for postgraduate training. To enhance security in and around the campus and in and off the campus residents, we have to increase the safety awareness in the faculty, and for that we appointed the Faculty Safety, Health and Environmental Champions. Strategic thrust number 4, looking at linkages, partnerships and internalization. To strengthen the university's local, regional and international profile and visibility, we have to enter into more MOUs or MOAs and SLAs with industry, communities, research councils, and other institutions of higher learning. We must actually actively engage and collaborate with our brand ambassadors, the faculty alumni, expand participation in the faculty research seminar series and faculty research day, host public lectures and seminars by local and international experts and influential public figures, and organize a faculty conference on multidisciplinary research once a year. As a leader, there are key responsibilities that the executive dean must look at and have. The executive dean must provide academic leadership in the academic program, together with the deputy dean of teaching and learning, must develop and implement a clear mission statement for the faculty, take strategic initiatives to achieve the strategic objectives, ensure appropriately directed quality research is carried out in the faculty, and work then together with the Deputy Dean of Research and Postgraduate Studies, and ensures that the faculty contributes to the university research goals in conjunction, according to the university research policies. The second key responsibility as a leader is the governance of the faculty, setting strategic direction of the faculty, ensuring appropriate operational plans have been developed to achieve the strategic objective of the faculty and ultimately the strategic objectives of the University of Venda, ensure appropriate structures, mechanisms are in place for the governance of the faculty, and this by having the executive board, the faculty board, different committees such as the teaching and learning and faculty high degrees committee, all with the terms of reference, to have a staffing profile plan, not only for recruitment, but also for induction, assessment, training, development, and succession planning. And then ensuring that the faculty complies with university statutes, rules, and policies, and ensuring that the faculty budgets are managed responsibly and strategically to reach the goals of the faculty and university. The executive dean, as a leader, is also representing the faculty and the university to external community. So it's important to establish, maintain, enhance effective relations with government, business, relevant professions, employer groups, students, and their families. The concluding remarks on the Faculty of Science, Engineering, and Agriculture. This faculty has a unique situation in a culturally rich and diverse biosphere with strong roots and involvement with the surrounding communities. The faculty prides itself in preparing graduates for the future world of work and for active citizenry. The curriculum and programs are designed to equip students with advanced technical and professional skills valued by employers. It employs qualified academics to teach cognitive discipline and supervise research that equips students with knowledge, skills, and attributes so that they are ensured as they leave the university, they are ready for the employment world out there. Excuse me. The faculty conducts multi as well as transdisciplinary research and engages communities, the industry, local and provincial government towards collaborative co-creation of knowledge, local economic development, solving societal problems, and improving service delivery. The core value of the faculty lies in the committed staff members, the experienced academics, the NRF-rated researchers, and the SACHI chair who are passionate about their work, their students, and the environment in which we operate, which is the Venda biosphere. And with that, I thank you very much, VC.
Thank you, Prof. Kitter, for the interview, for the presentation. Let me check if there's any follow-up question that members of the panel wish to raise with the presentation. Professor Feza.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Prof. Kitter. Thank you so much for your Thank you so much for your presentation. I would like to ask you one question. Where would you take the research agenda of the faculty in the coming 5 years regarding who the rated researchers are and leading commercialization of their innovative research.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Prof, maybe let me take another question so that we can maybe deal them as one in a. I saw there was a hand by the registrar.
Thank you very much, VC. Yes, good morning, Prof. Potgieter.
Good morning.
Yes, mine is also one clarity question. On your student-centeredness and engaged scholarship, one of your bullets was to reskill and train academics to become university teachers. And in your concluding remarks, one of the bullet points was that it employs qualified academics to teach. I just wanted to understand the reskilling and training academics to be teachers. How would it be done? Just a quick one, where and by whom? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Registrar. Let me take the last, if there's any input from panel members on this round. I don't see any other hand. So, Prof, those are the two clarity-seeking questions emanating from the presentation. The first one being the research agenda that was posed by Professor Feza. And the second one, question from the registrar around student-centeredness, the reskilling of academic staff vis-a-vis our qualified staff that we have. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I just want to clarify with Professor Feza, because I didn't write down when she asked the question. It's about the research agenda in the next 5 years. And the next part, there was a second part of your question, Prof. I just want to make sure I get it.
Okay. The second part was about leading commercialization of the staff's innovative research outputs.
Thank you very much, Professor. Professor, the research agenda for the next 3 years of the strategic plan is very important, because the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture has a diverse group of researchers with different niche that works in different niche areas. And I think it is very important to look at how we can support the researchers, both the established researchers and the emerging researchers. Sorry, my tongue is tying now up. In going forward with the research in the niche areas, and not only producing quality students, but also producing good output in reaching the output criteria for the university. And one of the things that we have to do there is by looking at how we can assist emerging researchers, and through active mentoring by either senior professors in the departments or in the faculty, as well as retired professors, bring them back and making them adjunct professors. Also bringing back, looking at the special category researchers that we are appointing to play a role in assisting these young emerging researchers to start producing and output and supervising students. The same with the established researchers, the NRF rated researchers. We have to make sure that we support them and actively support them, not just saying that we are supporting them, but what I want to do is make time to sit down with these researchers and with the HODs and see how we can lessen the workload for these researchers to make sure that they have time to work on their research. And I also want to actively promote the research that is taking place in the faculty through website and other virtual platforms, looking maybe at our own faculty digital newsletter, maybe twice a year, exposing the outputs and the competencies and the skills of the researchers and what they are doing. So it's very important for me to increase the visibility of the faculty, not only nationally, but also up in Africa, internationally, and making sure that people start seeing what we are doing in the faculty. Concerning the commercialization and innovation, that's a very important part. I think now with my whole heart is in innovation and commercialization, but we need to train our researchers more on what it is, and how they can commercialize their products and how they can be innovative in their research. We need to work very closely with the technology transfer officer to make sure that our researchers are trained and know how to protect their product, and what is the procedures to go through commercialization. Now, all of this, like I said, is a training process. It's something that I feel it's very important that we need to do in the next 2 or 3 years. But definitely by making and improving the visibility of the the faculty is also very important in order to make sure that these things go out. And then advocate, the centeredness and the skill qualifications. Yes, there's 2 parts. Many of our staff members have been going for that 1 year teaching qualification to help them and assist them how to teach in the modules and be more effective teachers. But we also have, it's an ongoing process. We also have a lot of new incoming staff, and they still need to be trained. And what I really feel is that you need to go on a regular basis to be qualified. It's not something, because teaching changes, methodology changes. We have seen now through the COVID time period how all of a sudden had to use virtual platforms, and I think we had a lot of staff members that were not completely ready for that. So to me, it is very important that we begin a training program in the faculty where we regularly send staff members, or we get people out to come and train, have specific training sessions. We can use a UCDP grant for this, where we qualify our staff members on new technologies, where we have a special teaching day at the faculty where we can bring in experts to assist us, and we can talk about best practices, and we can talk about problems that we experience, and what was the solutions, and learn from each other. So that is my because it's very important, if we talk about student-centeredness, is that we are prepared to give the student the very best experience and don't make it difficult for them. But for that, we need to have qualifications and qualified staff to know how to see every situation that comes their way during the academic program that they are teaching, how to adapt and how to solve solutions, bring solutions, and so that they can then again train somebody else and mentor somebody else and say, I had this problem when this happened, and this is how I dealt with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. Kita, for the responses. Let me check with Ms. No if there's a question on the chat box.
Visi, I'm just quickly checking with our YouTube team, but maybe while we are waiting, let me pose the one question that came in earlier. I'm just going to read it, Prof. Potgieter.
Okay.
It says, Univen has just graduated its first cohort of engineering students with a BSc Honours in Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering. How would you leverage this in developing other engineering programs?
Thank you very much for that question. I'm very proud of that first group for our faculty. And what is very important is that we need to look at what has worked in this program that was successful. Because we know that engineering programs are not, it's expensive to maintain. But it's very important that we work with the school, the faculty and staff to see exactly what we need and what will be the next engineering degree that we can bring in. And one of the things that I would suggest is that that we work with other institutions, do benchmarking, see what they have done, see what resources they have, then see if we cannot come up with a co-degree probably, and or have an agreement with other institutions where we have exchange of staff coming to teach us, our students, and we send our students there for training on certain techniques. We have a very successful MSc in e-science in the faculty, where students are doing their first year at Wits University, and then they come to the second year to University of Venda to do their project. Now, you know, there's a concept that that is working where students do get a degree at Venda University, but the agreement is that they spent their first year at another university to do some modules, and it's taught there, and you know, they have also a leverage funding for that, so that is something that we can look at into. And yeah, so it's also important to work then with the university systems, and you know, come up with a concept document, and then go out, do benchmarking, see what is needed, and how can we then bring in other engineering courses and degrees. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Prof. Let me check. Let me know, do we still have a question from the chat box?
There is one question.
Okay.
That came through now. Thanks, Prof, for a nice presentation. My question is, how would you ensure that registration of students' proposals and ethics are expedited for them to finish their research on time?
Thank you very much. I think that is a very important question. At the moment, in the faculty, we only have the Deputy Dean, and the Deputy Dean for Research and Postgraduate Studies does not have any secretarial help. It's very important with all because of the faculty that is very active in researchers, and there's a lot of research activities going on, and forms and proposals that needs to be approved faculty through the faculty, and there is examinations, and you know, there's a registration of projects. So it is important that as the executive dean, the deputy dean is supported by getting at least a secretary or a clerk position to assist the deputy dean. You cannot have a deputy dean's office without any assistance and expect the deputy dean to be a clerk and a secretary and do all the work by themselves. So for me, as a leader and as an executive dean, definitely the first thing that must be done is that we have to look at the office of the deputy deans and make sure that they have assistants that assist them and then can help them run the office. And that will make sure that things are being done faster and there's not a bottleneck for me. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Potgieter. I guess, Ms. No, we no longer have any question from the chat box.
I can't see any
anymore.
Busy.
Thank you so much. Prof. Potgieter, this will conclude this first part of our interview. You will, however, be receiving a link for the structured interviews, which will happen shortly after this. I need to thank you so much for your presentation and also how you responded to the questions. And our best wishes to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, VC. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Ms. Ndo, I guess we got another link.
Yes, VC, there is another link that we are going to join now.
Okay.
It is called Structured Interview, Executive Dean in the Faculty of Science, Engineering and Agriculture.
It's now about let's say 8 minutes past 11. Should we rather agree that, let's say, by quarter past 11, so that everybody can have a chance to get in, not in a rush? So
quarter past works well for me.
11, yes. Thanks so much.
Thank you.